Hey everyone, my name is Bani Arora. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and the immigration expert here at AskAïa. Today we're doing another session of question and answer, and the topic of the day is postgraduate open work permits.
Perfect, Bani. I would like to know what is a post-graduation work permit.
A postgraduate open work permit is a work permit category that international students receive after they have completed their education in Canada. So they receive a work permit for with a duration of 8 months to 3 years based on what they've studied. Open work permit, that means they can work with anyone during that time and gain Canadian experience after getting Canadian education.
And how to know if I am eligible for this work permit?
Very interestingly, there are certain conditions that you have to meet to be eligible for postgraduate open work permit. The first one is your study. So if you're doing a bachelor's degree or a master's degree from a university or college in Canada, then you are eligible for a postgraduate open work permit. If you're doing diploma courses, then you have to check if your particular field of study is eligible or not, and we can share the link here. So you need to make sure that the program that you're pursuing is eligible for a PGWP.
When should I apply for a post-graduation work permit?
Right after completing your course here in Canada, so once you receive your completion letter and your final official transcript, that's when you apply for a postgraduate open work permit online, and IRCC will send it to you. They take average processing times of whatever, but these days it's record high to about 5-6 months, but usually it takes between a month to 4 or 5 months to receive it.
Can I apply for that permit even before receiving my diploma?
Some people receive their final degree or diploma later, but once you have received your completion letter from the college, that's more important. So once the college attests that you've completed the course and all the requirements on the course have been fulfilled, that's when you can apply for your postgraduate work permit.
Are there any application fee for the post-graduation work permit?
Yes, IRCC charges $255. 155 is the work permit fees, and 100 is the open work permit fees. So it should come to a $255 currently, but it may change depending on, if IRCC decides to change the price.
Can I work while waiting for the post-graduation work permit?
Ideally, yes. If you apply for your postgraduate work permit, you had working rights as a student. So when you apply for a postgraduate work permit, you start working. Unless you leave the country, you can continue working while you wait for your postgraduate work permit.
Someone asked me if they can travel outside Canada while waiting for the post-graduation work permit.
Absolutely, yes, they can travel and they can come back if their visa is still valid, but they lose their working rights. So, if travel is necessary and has to happen, sure, there is no restriction of why you can't leave the country, but you lose your working rights. And so, when you come back, you only start working after your permit is then approved and you have your new permit.
Are there any restriction of the number of hours that I can work with a post-graduation work permit?
No, you can work full time, you can work as many hours. There is no restriction.
What's happening if my study permit expires before I apply for the post-graduation work permit?
You should always extend your study permit till the completion of your education, and postgraduate work permits. I usually tell people to apply as soon as they receive their completion letter. So, ideally, your study permit should be valid, or you should have applied for an extension so that you still have legal status. And as long as you held legal status, you can still apply for your postgraduate work permit. It should not be a problem.
So, is there a limit of the number of times I can apply for a post-graduation work permit?
Postgraduate open work permits can only be applied once. So it's a one time opportunity. So in case you decide that, hey, I completed a course in Canada and now I've taken a PGWP, this PGWP is finishing, let me study again. You can absolutely study again in Canada, but you won't receive a PGWP. It's only once in a lifetime.
You talk about open work permit. When you say open, Does it mean that I can work for any employers or it's limited?
That means it's not restricted to any employer or any location. You can work anywhere in Canada for any employer, any company at any position. So there are no restrictions to what kind of work you can do.
I had a question for a specific case. She asked me like if she can apply for a post-graduation work permit if she completes her studies online outside Canada.
So at least 50, more than 50% of the course needs to be done from Canada. And if she's currently outside Canada and she's completing her course, that's totally okay. But the condition is that at least 50%, more than 50% of the course needs to be done from in Canada. And if that was done, then it should not be a problem.
And what happened for people who complete their course for a Canadian institution during COVID? So they did it online.
Yeah, COVID was a different time, so there were exceptions put in place for to facilitate people to complete their education. So that at that time, people were completing their courses 100% online, 100% outside of Canada, and still receiving their postgraduate work permits. But that policy has been lifted now since we are in a post-COVID world. The normal law is that you have to complete more than 50% of the course from Canada in person.
How can I confirm if my institution qualifies for a post-graduation work permit?
It's very open as all the institutions, we call them designated learning institutions, DLIs. All DLIs that can accept international students have been listed as a postgraduate open work permit eligible or not, and it's widely available on canada.ca. We can share the link below. So every time you want to consider studying, and if PGWP is something on your mind, you should always check before accepting the college offer if they have PGWP eligibility or not.
That someone asked about their family. They ask if they can bring his family to Canada while they are a student.
Some people can. If you're a master's student or a bachelor student, then it's open to bring your spouses on spousal open work permit. Again, I can share the link on who is eligible to bring. So you should just check if your education is what the course that you're pursuing is eligible for you to bring your family with you.
Wait, are there any restriction on the number of hours that the spouse or common law partner will have while this person is a student?
Since the spouse gets an open work permit, there is no restriction on how much they can work. The restriction is on the principal applicant, the student itself, but not on the spouse. No.
Having a college diploma will open opportunities for them to have a post-graduation work permit, or if it's only for bachelor's and mastering students.
Some diplomas do have PGWP, depends on the field of study. Again, I can share the link and they should always evaluate if their field of study is eligible for PGWP.
But thank you, Bani, for all your reply. And if you have any more questions, you can put it below.
Okay, thank you so much. And that's everything from us today. And if you have any more questions about PGWPs, you can feel free to ask them below and we will do our best to answer them.